Hey guys, the Vitor Pereira pre-Brighton press conference has just taken place. As always, I'm going to have all the main points, and there's some injury news that we will need to cover off as well about what Vitor Pereira has to say ahead of the game. He's been talking to the press. I will be joined by Mr. Magic Moss with his thoughts ahead of this one in a second as well. And don't forget, the preview will be out on Saturday because the game's out on Sunday. So let's get stuck into the main news from this press conference. And stick with us. We'll give you all of it and all the main points. But let's kick off with the injury news that we have to bring you. There is a little bit of injury news in regards to the squad, but the first thing that he said, there's a bit of flu going around the camp at Molineux at the moment at Compton. He says Totti has the flu. Hopefully they're keeping him away from everyone because we don't want anyone else falling ill with the flu because obviously they won't be able to play because of their level. So he's got the flu. He also talked about Strand Larsen. He's working with us, but he's not 100% fit. He later in the press conference said that he has a pain. I think it's in his Achilles, and he's not yet at his best level. So we'll have to see how that one pans out. He was asked about how the team have been after the Spurs game. He said he had a good feeling, better football. They played with courage, especially after the Everton and the Tottenham game. He said that we showed that we can compete. And then he was asked about Brighton and Hove Albion. Of course, he said they're a very strong team, very good players. And he said that they've been building for some time. But he said this is not about them. It's about us improving our level and feeling and being consistent. Of course, he was asked about the terrible record we had against Brighton, and he reiterated that this was about us. He said that we feel that we're creating, and we can see that the players are starting to understand what we are demanding of them tactically and mentally. He says in training, he can see that as a team that's committed and competing with confidence to be at their best levels. On the back of that, he was asked about John Arias, because John Arias spoke earlier in the week about how he's settling in and getting up to levels. He talked about John Arias, but he also said this is not just about John. But he said that John Arias obviously played 5 or 6 years in Brazil. He knew the league well, he knew the culture, and then he comes and arrives in Wolverhampton and the Premier League, and everything is different. The area, the culture, the league, the players, the team, everything. And he said that now, like a lot of the players, they came in late and they're starting to settle in. He said there's other things to take into consideration when players are coming over, about their families settling in, home, and all of that sort of things as well. And he said that there is definitely now room for optimism. Each training session, he says, even today, I saw my team working with responsibility, the intensity in training, the level has increased, and they're trying to fight positions in the right way. He was asked about Sam Johnson. Has he got the number 1 shirt? He basically reiterated that there is no gifts that he gives out in football. He says everyone has to fight for the shirt in the right way, he emphasised. And then obviously he will look and put the team on the pitch. He said obviously it's good if everyone's competing for the shirt at the same level, but then he has to be fair, and he said it's sometimes difficult when there are 2 players fighting for a position and they both deserve to be in the team, but he can only put in one, but that's a headache he'd rather have. He said he needs to feel proud of himself and the work that he does, and he wants the players to come off the pitch and feel proud of the work that they've done and make the supporters and the fans proud. He was asked about the 9 changes from last week and how the players that dropped out have reacted. He said they've reacted very well in the right way and are working hard. And he said we had to make changes because we weren't winning games. Had to look to try and find solutions. And also in terms of, the formation, the style of play. He says, I know that my team can play. He says they feel settled now, of course. He said they feel settled. They now know what they should do tactically, and the connection is a lot stronger between them. And now, because they are not just worrying just about the tactical side of things, they're getting used to how they should be playing, they can try to express themselves more. He was asked about Strand Larsen and Tulu. Can they play together? He says, yes, of course, I believe they can both play together. But not at this point in time, because Strand Larsen, as I've talked about earlier, is not fully fit with his issue that he's got and the pain that he's got in his, I think it's his Achilles, and obviously he's still having discomfort, so he's not at his best level. And Tulu never had a proper pre-season before he came, and he's still getting up to full fitness and adapting to the league, and he's not at his best level. But yes, in the future, I believe that they can play together. So those are the main points from the press conference. I'm joined today by esteemed Wolves fan.
Hello, everybody.
Mr. Magic Moss.
Is that what they say?
Obviously, we're not going to do any score predictions because you have to wait for the preview tomorrow, so hit the subscribe button today. But the press conference today, Vitor Pereira seemed in a much more positive, upbeat place.
He certainly does, David. They're working well together.
Yeah, so Vitor Pereira did seem a little bit more upbeat and positive about how he was feeling. Obviously, I think there was definitely some frustration there early doors. Wolves had a decent week last week with the victory in the Cup over Everton. Of course, we got Chelsea in the next round. And, of course, a good, really much better performance against Tottenham Hotspur, where we nearly got the 3 points. But I think someone said Wolves just haven't been getting a break recently with things. We do need a little bit of break. And, the Brighton game they are a bit of a bogey team, and we will cover this off in more depth on the preview. But like Vitor Pereira has said, it's not about them, it's about us, Dad. That's what he said.
David, I believe that as well.
Absolutely. And as you always say, Dad, you make your own luck.
You certainly do in this world. You certainly do.
Fantastic. So, look, I hope you've enjoyed this review of the Vitor Pereira's Wolves Brighton press conference, covering off the main points. If you have, hit the like. Loads of content coming over the weekend. We've got the full preview tomorrow. Then we've got all the stuff around the game itself before we head into the international break. So please subscribe, hit the bell, and leave your thoughts on the press conference in the comment section below. And we'll see you on the full match preview tomorrow. And, of course, on Sunday at the game. Until the next one, always Wolves.
Keep smiling.